And now a bit about student life. Yeah, so first of all, we have academic societies, ISA sport groups, and national societies, and they're all connected to ISA. Yeah, so this is also, we have a web page for each, and it's really nice to check our new web page once again, because we're proud of what we made and we're making it better every day. We have those sport groups, field hockey, Fit with ISA, Rsu Tennis Club, ISA yoga trainings, and Riga road runners. And here's a short video. I think they will play it.
Hey there, are you going to be the new field hockey star of Latvia? Are you a beginner? We have licensed trainers to hone your skills. And are you more advanced? We have international tournaments where we play against other teams from Baltics. Reach us on our Facebook page, RSU Field Hockey, or on our Gmail, latviafieldhockey@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Rsu Tennis, co-founder of the Rsu Tennis Club. Please feel free to have a look at our Facebook page. We are a group of tennis players, young and old, that share the love of the game. See you there.
Hi, Konstantin here. I'm doing the training plan for Fit with ISA workouts. If you're looking for efficient and challenging workouts, yet interesting and fun, you came to the right place. Doesn't matter what your current fitness level, do yourself a favor and join us. Take care.
Thank you all ISA sport groups for making those videos. Again, it was an online project which we started over summer, and just to give you an insight in what opportunities there are for students. Besides the sports groups, ISA sport groups, we also have our national societies, and that's very nice. If you're from whatever country, you can find your specific national society, and we're very proud that they're also very active and organize events and like quizzes, games, and very fun activities. Of course, it's nice to stick to your nation, but personally I also advise invest in the Latvian culture and get to know Latvians as well. This is also very nice. We have the African Association in Riga. I put all the logos there so no one feels left out. The Asian Society, the Italian Society, very nice. And we also make sure that all their events is actually open for everyone and also promoted in English, not only in their local language. This is in order to be inclusive to everyone. If you're interested in a different culture, feel free to join a different National Society event and meet other students and have a very nice time. Yeah, so we have the Assyrian Student Association, British and Irish Society, Deutsche Studenten im Ausland is also a very nice, very big group, because of course a lot of German students, and also there's actually the Portuguese Society, Yahad from Israel, very nice, they're very active as well. RSU Iranian Society, and also a fairly new one, RSU US Student Association, because our US students are actually coming more and more to RSU. And to those guys, I will say, join this group because they organize like preparation events for the USMLE, and they know everything about what you need to do to get back to the US, to become a doctor there. And also I would like to remind that RSU is now, we are also helping RSU, but also kind of pushing RSU to go for a recognition status for the World Federation of Medical Education. And this is what we are striving for, and we hope to keep this ongoing. For more information, please contact RSU US Student Association or ask us for questions. We also have a video for them, and here it comes.
My name is Saron and I'm the treasurer of AAR. I just wanted to say welcome to RSU, and I can't wait to see you all. Till then, stay safe.
Hello and welcome.
We are the Asian Society.
We hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Ciao, we are ASIA,
the Italian Student Association.
Bye.
British and Irish Students Association, BISA.
Hey guys, we're the RSU US Association.
Hello, we are the Portuguese Society.
Hello, we are Assyrian Student Association in Riga.
Hi, everybody. We are Yachad Association, the Israeli Association of RSU. Hello.
Hello, we are DSIA, the Deutsche Studenten im Ausland. For more info, follow us on our social media.
Yes, thank you. So we have then finally the academic societies, which I am overseeing, or actually the person I work together with in my office, Academic Affairs, Anna Leonova, she's in charge of the academic societies. We provide funding, we provide premises to organize your events, we provide online links to Zoom or whatever platform you want to use. We have a lot of, and classrooms of course, in times of like on-site studies. Yeah, and specifically for you dentistry students, I also know quite a lot about dentistry, but I'm not, of course, a dentistry student, so specific questions and the difficult day-to-day issues and advice or anything related to dentistry studies, we also have a partner kind of under us as ISA, which is the RSU Dental Students Association, and they're also helping you out with dentistry things, and yeah, contact them for that. And then we have our academic societies. We have a lot of them. And also, hopefully this year, we will also have an endocrinology society. We're still working it, and we hope to have everything arranged soon. What are academic societies? Academic societies, as I said, they arrange events, but it also is a thing that you can learn more. They organize lectures usually, so you can already have like a glimpse of and learn more about your future career in medicine, and like specific fields you're interested in. And besides, it's also very nice to meet people with common interests as you. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of them, but we are quite well represented in that way. I mean, medical studies are quite well represented in that way. We also organize like on-site experiences, like for the Surgical Association. We organize suturing workshops, and this always is a very favorite thing among students to practice a bit on your suturing skills. And actually also for dentistry, it might be interesting to also go to these events because you can really practice your suturing skills. And we do this on live tissue, but also on like models. But of course the live tissue is more realistic. And for you surgeons out there who are interested, I would really advise to go to these. And we have all the other internal medicine, academic society, and others, cardiology, which are also organizing things. Again, a short video following now.
Hello and welcome to everyone.
We are the Anatomy Circle.
Our academic society focuses on the vast field of anatomy.
Women must earn less than men. They are smaller, they are less intelligent, and they must earn less.
Shall we tell them what we think?
A big welcome to RSU from the Obstetrics and Gynecology Academic Society.
Hello everyone, we are the board members of the Pediatric Academic Society.
Hello everyone.
We are the founders and representatives of the Plastic Surgery Academic Society of RSU.
Hello everyone, we are the Radiologist Society and we're kindly welcoming you at RSU.
Hi, we are the board members of Neurology and Neurosurgery Academic Society.
Hello, we are the Rsu Surgical Association.
Yes, great. Also, I want to add, for the dentistry student, there is a Q&A session organized today at 3 o'clock, and you can find the link for a Zoom link on Facebook. Please join this one as a dentistry student, because they will answer a very specific question and maybe tell a bit about dentistry studies, which I know is very well recognized actually all over the world because of its very practical way of studying, and all dentists which graduate are great dentists. I know from the Netherlands, where I'm from, that it's highly recognized that RSU is a great facility to study dentistry. So all the best to you, and join that session for your specific questions, and let's continue together to the next part. Yeah, of course, who is who at RSU? It's nice to know who is who. We have already seen Professor Eigars Petersons. He's actually working in pediatrics more, but he is of course the rector. Yes, yes, okay. And then we have Vice Rector for Health Studies, which is in charge of all the health studies, also for the Latvian students. He's like above the dean, kind of, but they work together and cooperate in that way. So dentistry, medicine studies for Latvians and internationals, like overseeing the entire process. You will not have to deal with these individuals a lot because we have, of course, a very good international student department. And also I want to clarify a bit, the terms have gone from here to there a bit this week, but there is the international student department and the international department. The international student department is headed by our dean, and this is the individual you will have to deal with the most, and any like serious issues or whatever issues there are, also academic appeals at a certain time, go through dean's office, and they have a huge team, and you saw them before my presentation, and they're always there to answer any questions. And also, even if you wish to have a meeting with even the dean, it's actually possible, but please write an email for an application for this, because of course a very busy dean we have. She has a lot of responsibility, but we are very happy to have Dean Germanos, who is also a teacher actually in physiology and family medicine here. It's a very, very nice thing that we have such a great dean at our university, Dean Smuidra Germanos. Yes, and actually, academically, you will be in touch with teachers even more. Especially in the preclinical years, year 1 and 2, you will see this building a lot. The Anatomicum, my apologies, of course, I have not been there for many years because I'm in my 6th and final year, but I have fond memories of this place. And also a fun story, there used to be no heating in this building, meaning that you had to wear your outside coat in winter and your lab coat over it. But this was even before my time. Now, of course, it's well heated and it's a very nice place, and they have very advanced technology to teach you anatomy, histology, and embryology. All those courses are held in this building, and the whole head of this like Department of Morphology, as it is called, is Professor Mara Pilmana. She is a renowned embryologist, and you will see her when you study embryology, maybe also histology. I advise to go to her lectures because those are very impressive, and I have very interesting memories from this individual, and she's a very respectful professor. Then, of course, we have for more the anatomy department, Zintra Kažoka. She is the head of the anatomy parts, and also very, very good teacher. And nowadays they have very good like technical ways how to teach you anatomy, and it is a very advanced department, I must say. Yeah, so this is the Institute of Anatomy and Anthropology. We call it the Anatomicum. This is the address, and you can get there by tram or bus. Mostly tram, actually, but also with bicycle, because it's on this side of town, like in the center. Not on this side where I am. This is the other side, but like in the center side. And back to our side, where RSU is located, on the other side of the river, let's say, is METC, Medical Education Technology Center. These are more for the simulation-based teaching, but also classes and lectures you will have there. And yes, it's a very modern department. For the dentistry students, but also for medicine in higher years, when you will have maxillofacial surgery. Of course, it is all occurring in this RSU Institute of Stomatology, and this is where also patients go, and that's also what I said earlier. At RSU, the dentistry students already get in contact with patients very early on, so you will learn very soon and will have very much responsibility from early on. For the medical students, but also maybe dentistry, have some courses here, the Paula Stradiņa Kliniska Universitāte Slimnīca, or Paul Stradiņš Clinical University Hospital. It has an old part and a new part, and of course we look very nicely to this new building they built, and you will have classes there and see patients. Then this is the kind of the FAR hospital, as we call it, Rakus or Gaiezers, or Riga East Clinical University Hospitals, mostly for medical students. But please have a look where it is, but it will all you will learn from your fellow students, or you can always ask Aisa how to get there. There's specifically maybe to remember microbus, mikriņš as they call it in Latvian, the smaller buses which stop less often, only when you hold your hand, they stop, meaning that you can get to places faster. And I advise, if you have to go to this hospital, to take microbus 271. It's a small white and blue bus, and it goes quite fast, and yeah, have a look at that. And how do you know where to go? Nowadays, of course, Google Maps is very updated and has very nice information, but I also personally advise you to download Trafi, the public transportation application. And then you can just type address and from your current position. Yeah, and of course we need like e-talons, it's called, e-transport card. And yes, this is a monthly membership for students for 16 euros. However, you need to have like access to a official transcript. How to explain a bit easier. You need a proof of study place, and this is all provided by RSU. A document which states the public transport reference, it's called, and you will have to pick this up, but I will speak about it later, because actually it will be the group leaders who will have to pick up certain documents, including this one, but more about that later. And of course, in online times of online learning, maybe don't get September monthly membership, because it will be 16 euros wasted. Rather think maybe from October onwards to have get the monthly membership, because it is worth it if you travel a lot every day. And this is their main building, but of course in the current epidemiologic difficulties, their opening hours are different, and it might be a bit difficult to get there. But still, like, be early there and try to get your public transport arranged before the start of the on-site studies. So as I said earlier, the group leader specifically in the coming weeks actually have some tasks. First of all, what is a group leader? A group leader is in charge of your individual groups, 10 to 11 students, and as day-to-day going to university, going to classes, you will every day see your group, and there's one group leader. And the group leader is in charge of the communication between the group leaders and the teachers, between the group leaders, the students and the group leaders, and the semester leader, and also with the dean's office to streamline communication. And the group leader is very important in that way. So your task is also first to elect a semester leader. This is done separately for medicine and dentistry. You have a dentistry semester leader, but also a medicine semester leader. And this will be done in online way. We will ask you to send like a little promotion of yourself if you're interested, with a picture why you want to be semester leader and a short text. You already received an email about this, and deadline is written there, as you can see, and send your little your promotion and your story about yourself to isa@rsu.lv until Sunday, this Sunday in the evening, so don't forget. Group leaders. Yeah, as I said, group leader will have a specific task coming up. I heard that there was a question that you don't know your groups yet. Indeed, this is also because of the GDPR regulations, and therefore we advise you to post in your Facebook semester group to find your group mates by just posting I'm in this and that group, and try to find each other in that way, because you will have to elect a group leader until Wednesday next week. We do this quite early because it would be great if the group leader can pick up certain very official documents, and this is very important, so please listen up. We would like to first elect a group leader before Wednesday. The group leader will pick up all their student cards. We have arranged with student services together with admission department that the group leaders will pick up all your student cards, your study contracts, and your public transport reference. So it's very important to elect a group leader, and also preferably the group leader should also already be in Latvia or be the first one to arrive, let's say. But of course have a discussion amongst your group and try to find a suitable candidate. And of course it's not binding, like group leaders can change and it's not like very serious, but it's nice to have one person who's kind of in charge. And yeah, so the group leader will have to arrange an appointment to pick up the official documents, student cards, all your study contracts from all your groups, and public transport reference. And we do this mainly because the RSU main building will be kind of closed because of the epidemiologic situation. So you will need a pass and you need to arrange an appointment beforehand. So all because of these epidemiologic difficulties, we have arranged a pickup time for each group leader. How to book a pickup time? It's very easy. Group leaders shall contact student services for all the contracts, student cards and public transport reference by calling on this telephone number. Again, the presentation will be uploaded afterwards, and you can find this information there. It will be uploaded, I hope, also on the your Facebook page, but also in any case on our webpage at ISA at RSU, and you just click on ISA, you will find it. Okay, a bit more about day-to-day, like when you're students, it's important to be on time. Do not forget your lab coat, especially the anatomicum, because entry is not allowed without a lab coat. And don't forget this, and this is just to keep it more organized and respectful. And this is also a nice thing because you're walking around in the lab coat and already getting used to wearing it the rest of your career. So yeah, and also for dentistry students, yeah. Yeah, it's important to try to not fall behind, keep everything updated, upload protocols on times, especially in departments of physiology and histology. And also I want to mention that RSU has a more scholastic approach, which means that attendance, for example, is mandatory. You need to upload everything on time. You have very many classes, but in that way, at least you will learn a lot. So that's very positive. And of course, feel free to ask your group leader, semester leader, and also ISA for any questions. Yeah. And even the B courses are mandatory. So indeed, as one more time, attendance is mandatory. In September, studies are online, but afterwards it will be on-site learning and you have to be present. Quickly about, sometimes there are some cultural issues, so some cultures do not announce the titles for officials, but also in Latvia, and same as in Western Europe, please address your professors in an official way, because it can come over as very impolite if you just say hello or good evening or something. Please write dear professor or miss and not Mrs. Because of course this indicates marriage status, but in general just use miss and s dot, even addressing a non-titled person, like but in other case doctor or professor. Yes, so as I said, attendance is mandatory, and if you have fallen ill, you need to follow the sickness absence policy at RSU, and it occurs in 5 steps, so again, pay attention. But it's also written on the RSU webpage, but in case, let's go through. First thing, you need to inform the International Student Department. This you can do via email, foreign@rsu.lv, or by calling. As I said, International Student Department is the one which is headed by Dean Smuidera Germanos, and not the admissions office or international department. The next step is you need to inform your teacher of your absence. So what I usually do if I'm fallen ill, I just inform my course mates and ask them, can you please tell the teacher that I won't be today? And it of course, but you need a reason, of course, you need to have actual illness. And in that case, therefore, you also must go to a doctor. So please already book an appointment with a doctor. Specific medically related questions will be answered afterwards, because we have a RSU ambulance clinic, it's called, and it's on site at this main university building, and you can book an appointment with a doctor, because you need a doctor for the official document and proof of your absence, kind of. And in this way, we ensure that people are not skipping classes for fun, because of course, we are very serious. We need to study medicine and dentistry, and of course, we need some official guidelines. Yeah, and then you submit this document to the International Student Department, either in person, but of course now it's maybe more online, so just send it via email or other electronic ways. And yeah, then of course, unfortunately, even you have to catch up with your missed classes. Don't think lightly of this. Unfortunately, it's a very scholastic approach, so you really need to catch up with everything you missed. And this can be very hard in the beginning, but you will get used to it. I wanted to give some study tips. I've been here already for 6 years, and I had some personal experience with studying, so I thought I could give you some tips how to study smart. So the main thing about learning a lot of material is time. You actually do need a lot of time and a lot of repetition. What is proven scientifically the best approach to study is called spaced repetition and also self-assessment. Spaced repetition means that you gradually increase the time of remembering things. So you study and then you repeat it afterwards, let's say after 50 minutes, and then you constantly increase the time. So that's 50 minutes, then an hour later, then maybe 4 hours later, and 8, therefore you turn short-term memory into long-term memory. And of course another way is self-assessment. Do quizzes, do tests, look at old colloquiums, look at old exams, and try to test yourself, and this way you can remember a lot. And also a good tip is try to understand, because you're not memorizing a poem, and I have had students in my groups who had very much difficulties, but then we found out that they're actually just memorizing words. And of course we are not going to memorize a poem, we're trying to understand concept, and actually the best way to do this is to read something and then try to summarize in your own words. Either write your own summary or actually just do it in your mind. Yeah, and this is also it's called layering, also scientifically proven method. Like every time you approach a topic, start from scratch. Like what do you know already? Like, and therefore every time you revisit the same thing in your memory, and therefore you can, based on that the basic layer, you can add things. And therefore, by every time repeating issues, you will learn more, and you can, in the end, you will be a very successful student, I hope. So this is a tip. And yeah, use visuals, make drawings, especially anatomy. It's very difficult to learn just terms, and then you're not learning a poem again. Remember this, but you're trying to learn structures, and therefore look at pictures, look at videos, and specifically there's a online web page called KenHub, and it's also, I will show in the next slide, it's a very good source for anatomy teaching. Yeah, and also, actually, it's all based on spaced repetition concept. You also have flashcards, Anki app, but they're all based on spaced repetition, so increasing the time more and more until you can memorize something whenever. And therefore, prepare before lectures, but also repeat afterwards. And yes, you can wake up any medical student at night and ask them the 12 cranial nerves, ask them all the causes of acute pancreatitis, all the pain, how to describe pain with the Socrates mnemonic. So every letter stands for a specific thing. A, B, C, D, E in emergency care, airway, breathing, circulation, disability, and environment. RIPE, therapy for tuberculosis, rifampin, isoniazid, paracetamol, and ethambutol. Every medical student knows all the medications you give to a tuberculosis patient. Just write a mnemonic. Take study breaks, go outside, open windows, and enjoy nature. Of course, you can't study for 8 hours straight. You need some fresh air, some time off. But most importantly, find out what works for you. Where and how do you study best? Yes. Yeah, so personal favorite, Dr. Najib, great source. It's very cheap actually to get a subscription, and I really recommend to learn from Dr. Najib. Ambos is already, it's actually a paid subscription, but RSU is paying for us, so we don't need to pay. So for RSU students, Ambos is free. There are several YouTube channels, and really try to use different sources, and therefore you increase your learning skills. And Armando Hasudungan is a very good one. And as I said, anatomy learning is very good to use KenHub. It's also an online source with videos. It's for free, but if you want the videos, you need to pay a bit. But you can use the free version, and everything is available. And again, Anki is a flashcard service, Anki Dex. The same concept, spaced repetition by constantly pushing yourself with flashcards, trying to remember things. And Sketchy Medical for visual learners, where everything is drawn out in funny pictures and drawings. This is really helpful for visual learners, so have a look at all the options. We oftentimes get the question, which book should I buy? Actually, RSU does not oblige you to buy any expensive medical books. Personally, I like to read from books, so I do purchase some books, but for long-term use. I also have a reference atlas, is very nice to have, and you can use any anatomy atlas. If you're a fan of Grey's Anatomy, then have the Grey's Atlas of Anatomy. It's fun. I don't know, I'm just saying you can take whatever. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is that you learn by seeing the anatomy. RSU has a lot of books available for long-term and short-term loan. So you can also just go and check all those anatomy atlases and other books on this link. Library, and then you can search for specific books. Where to print, again, if you like to have things like material, you can print in CopyPro or this other one. Actually, CopyPro is available 24/7, so even at night you can go print there. Finding an apartment, I hope you already have found some apartments. If not, check Facebook, check this ss.lv. It's in Latvian, but you will find it very easy to use. RSU has the official student hostel right next to the main building. And yes, again, we have, unfortunately, students sometimes transfer deposits, or like landlords ask very high amounts of money in cash or whatever, but try to think logically. Does this sound like a normal thing or not? So also, I would advise not to transfer deposits without having actually seen the apartment. So where do you study? Yeah, there are many very nice places. At RSU, you can study the upper and the middle, the picture. You can study at RSU premises. The library is open also at night, or like in the late evening. The National Library is also a personal favorite. So on the left, you see the National Library, and under it, you see inside there how it looks, and it's really nice and calm, and have a look there. And you can sit there for all day and study. But of course, there's also other things than studying. But as a medical student and dentistry student, you need to study a lot. Speak Easy is like a very nice cafe for studying. It's founded by a Norwegian student who studied at RSU, Martin Stradiņa, and together with Aris Birse, they actually made a medical translator book in order for you to learn Latvian. And they also started this cafe, and you can sit there and study, and you can even book rooms to rent and to study or organize your society events. Also, the Latvian University, yes, we are students of RSU, but if you feel like changing your study place, actually you can study at the LU main building, just in Old Town next to the National Monument. There is a very old and very beautiful building from Latvian University. You can actually sit there as well as an RSU student, or their new building next to the National Library is also very nice. But of course, in the end, if you will have to spend a lot of time at home, so make sure that your study place is very comfortable and not too many distractions, and put away your phone, please, when you are studying, because every second a distraction is not good. So what is maybe advised to like have little time frames, like 15 minutes learning, 1 or 2 minute pause, but that's actually not realistic. Usually it's like an hour learning and then a few minute pause, or maybe several hours of learning and then a few minutes pause. But then keep your phone aside and don't use it during learning. Yes, so some do's and don'ts. Yeah, you can also read the PowerPoint, but there will be some cultural issues, not issues, but like differences. But of course, general rules apply. Paldies means thank you, labdien means good day or hello, and labvakar in the evening. Yeah, leave your jackets in a wardrobe, and things like that. Yeah, so we have an even number, but I think you already maybe have heard a bit about this. We don't give even numbers in Latvian culture, because that's only for a funeral. So don't give flowers in an even number, but only in uneven numbers. And yeah, the cash, when you pay, usually in Western Europe, you give it in someone's hand. But here, actually, it is on a like coin plate. But actually, in times of coronavirus, you won't even, this is a good thing. So use the coin plate. Don't be late. Yeah, don't walk on the ice on the Daugava River. Although with climate change, this happens less often. Yeah. So we have actually some questions already received. Actually, the group leader thing, I will repeat, just post on Facebook, in your Facebook group, and try to find your course mates, because again, of GDPR reasons, we cannot like publicly announce your groups, but please, within that group, you're allowed to find your group mates, and also choose a group leader again before next week, Wednesday. And the group leader, again, I remind you, pick up the student cards of your group, study contracts, and public transport reference. And now, actually, oh yeah, also I wanted to add, it's a very nice thing to really invest in Latvian language. You will have so much benefit to be able to speak to a patient, to be able to communicate in daily life. So really I advise personally, and also think back, I'm glad that I started early on with Latvian language. You will get official courses from RSU, but of course you will need to study yourself a lot and all the medical and the dentistry subjects, but it's really advised to really invest in your own time, to find some apps on your phone. They're also in development, and we will inform you of these to really boost your language skills. Yes, I think those are the main, and now we come some specific questions. Yeah.
So yeah, we got a couple of questions, and we're just getting them right as we speak. So, you know, you can even ask questions right now, and we'll answer them right away. I think one of the main ones could be like, how do we communicate with the patients? Do they understand English well? We already addressed that.
But yeah, I can add, like, as I said, like, it's really good to learn Latvian, just some basic words, and do not worry. In general, the patients are very understanding, and they already beforehand agree or disagree to seeing international students. So your doctor or your supervisor will already ask them beforehand. They agreed upon it, and usually they find it very interesting to have an international student, and they're even more impressed if you can just say a few words and try to get your patient anamnesis in a bit in Latvian. And in the end, the actual requirements are not that high, but I again do advise, please invest in the Latvian language. It's a great language to learn, difficult but challenging, and therefore also very fun. But in the end, yes, you don't need to have like B2 or B1. Actually, the level will be at the level of A2, I would say, and I think that is sufficient. And actually, for the medical students, your state exam at the end of your studies to become a doctor, the third day, it's a 3-day exam, and the third day you will have your own patient to diagnose and sum up the treatment. But of course, the whole anamnesis, information gathering of the patient is in Latvian. And yeah, you need to study Latvian, but you will have 6 years here, so it should be sufficient to get some basic Latvian. And just try to remember that along the years.
Yeah, a couple of the questions I think were already answered. Will every video lecture be held over the My RSU portal, or are there professors that use other platforms?
Yeah, so like what I have experienced in this online session, online studies, is that Zoom is being used a lot. And I don't know, what did you experience?
I think Zoom, but for video lectures they'd use My RSU.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're also using another website to host some lectures, I think Little or something.
Okay, and Panopto is
Panopto is the main one for RSU, yeah.
So Panopto is like where you see the lectures, and you can look them back afterwards as well.
Yeah, so I think as you go along, most of the time it will be like presented to you, or a link will be sent to you, so you don't have to really download any other software.
Exactly, yeah.
Another question was, how can I be a part of ISA?
Yes, maybe you can answer, Nalif.
Well, being a part of ISA is quite simple. You would have to submit your name and like a CV of yourself to us, and then appear for elections where everyone would vote for you after you, of course, given a speech and answer questions.
And our elections are coming up?
Our elections are coming up in the month of November.
So if you want, just, and also our office is right next to the main building, and we are always available for any questions, or just get involved. It would be very nice, and we need your help as well.
Yes, it would be always nice to have more people signing up, or even helping out at various events we've had across the year. Well, this year, of course, we couldn't have any, but usually we have a full schedule, I think, around 3 events a month or something. And I think you already know where our office is. You've seen it in the intro video. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in regards to like how you can join in on ISA. Another question is, why are some courses in our timetables marked as video lectures and some aren't?
So there's also a very important distinction between lectures and practical classes. Lectures are
more one-sided in the sense that it's a presentation that they will teach you or try to educate you on a main topic.
Whilst the practicals are more interactive, and you oftentimes need to prepare questions. And in the beginning, I advise to go to all the lectures as well. And of course, the practicals are really the main thing, which are very mandatory, and don't miss out. And you
also learn a lot of manipulations in the practical, and hands-on experience is really important. Whereas the lectures, you'll be introduced to the surface level, or like even the theoretical knowledge that gets more applied in the practical classes. So you can see why video lectures and sometimes lectures really depends on the professor at hand, or whether they have to update themselves, or if they want to have a more interactive lecture or just a teaching opportunity. So both of them are quite useful as you go along.
Definitely. But video lecture qualifies as lecture, so yeah, that's the main.
Yeah. Another one is, I think you already spoke about, you sent us an email about a group leader, but I still don't know who's in the same group with me. How can I contact them?
Exactly. So once again, post on the Facebook group, and you can ask who is in this group and who is in my group. Just post your group number and like meet up and choose a group leader.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Can we travel during a planned practice? Is there any way to be excused?
Honestly, attendance is mandatory. So actually no, and that makes sense because you are learning to become dentists and you're learning to become doctors. With that comes a big responsibility. You will work with real patients. So also be understanding, of course, you need to be present, and attendance is mandatory.
Yeah, you can be excused for like medical emergencies, but that's also very dependent on your own, like you'd have to take the initiative to email the departments and the dean and everything about that. What if I can't come to Riga until the 5th of October?
If it's because of epidemiologic situations, you need to contact the dean's office at foreign@rsu.lv, or contact them over the phone. In general, just contact dean's office because we have arrangements set up for those who cannot return because of impaired flights or epidemiologic situation. And also remember, once again, self-isolation, actually from all countries almost within Europe now, is mandatory. So 14 days you need to self-isolate. Does a negative COVID test exclude this? No, unfortunately not. You need to self-isolate. And there is a list of countries which are called red countries and orange countries. The link is also in our Facebook page. Keep a look on this. They're updated every Friday. And but I think you've heard enough about the COVID situation, so I will spare you the details. But remember, please self-isolate when you come from a country which is listed as red or orange.
And the new regulations updated every Friday apply from midnight onwards, so keep that in mind as well when you're coming here. I think another one, I think it's one of the last ones we actually have, is we have classes at 8 and also on Sundays and sometimes on Saturdays. Is that normal?
So classes actually at 8 p.m. are not allowed. And I do not know why they plan this.
On work days as well.
On work, it should not be the case.
Days,
in this case, please contact Dean's office directly and inform them of this, because it should not be, and the study planning department has made a mistake, I think, because this is not allowed. Yeah. After 8 p.m. it's not allowed. Classes are allowed from 8 to 8.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions we have. If there's any other questions you want to ask, please send us right now, and I think me and Max will probably talk about some other things like more student life related, if that's fine.
Yeah, sure. And again, thank you. And unfortunately, my assistant, she works in my office, could not be here because she has an internship in urology department, which is great, of course. So I took kind of over, and this is a picture of us too, me and Riga, and Anna as well, a picture. And thank you for your attention. And
yeah, so now I guess it'll just be like a freestyle here, that, you know, because we still have presentation coming in like 10 minutes. Oh, there are more questions coming in. Oh, that's lovely.
Okay, perfect. We will go back to the question slide.
Yeah, so you guys are really getting a treat right here. Oh, yeah, true. Will the lectures be uploaded and free to watch at any time, or do we have to participate at the lectures at the exact time?
It depends again. Like mainly lectures are not mandatory, but in the beginning they are kind of advised to go to. Practical classes are the ones which have a specific time frame and you need to be present because you need to interact on Zoom or other platforms. And usually the lectures which occur in Panopto are uploaded afterwards, and you can look it back. And in the beginning, like, it depends also per department, so I cannot give a clear answer. But please, to be safe, just go to all the lectures within specified times and go to all practical classes within specified times. And yes, you can look it back mostly.
Most of the lectures you can look back into it. Zoom, if they're recording it, yes. But again, the classes held on Zoom are meant to be mandatory, so it's like a regular class. You can like either you record it yourself on your own computer or you take notes, just like a regular class, I imagine. Another question is, a lot of classes are practical during September, but they're still in different countries. How do we take part then?
If it says practical, it means that it is an online session with more interaction. like usually on Zoom, right?
Yeah, mostly Zoom.
Zoom. So you need to be present in that specified time frame. Yeah, I can understand different time zones. It might be very late hours. Maybe that was related to your earlier question. It could be a misunderstanding from our part. But of course, RSU cannot take into consideration every single country in the world because we have students from all over the world, and it would be too much for us to ask to.
However, you can also like personally email the professor and try to work something out. But most often, this is how it is for now. The other question is, what if there are family issues like a death? Is there an excuse for missing courses?
Yes, there is. Contact Dean's office.
Yeah. Would you suggest to join the ISA in the first semester or maybe get settled first? I'd suggest the latter because it's always good to understand what ISA does and what you're getting into. And because some of the problems you also address in ISA is later studies. So if you're in pre-clinics, you wouldn't understand the problems. I think you also realize that the problems that you face fourth semester or fourth year onwards is completely different than the problems you would face from the first year onwards, like the dealing with the departments of different.
But I would say also, if you're really interested to involve yourself more, apply for the semester leader position, because we need your semester, the medicine semester and dentistry semester, to pick a semester leader, and send us the information before Sunday. So don't forget like your application, and then we will kind of distribute a way of voting in that way.
Yeah, and I think, as Matt suggested, like in the first semester, first year, go for semester leader. If you really want to take part in ISA, take a year, take maybe 2, and then decide again, because it's always nice to have a bit more experience before you join into like ISA especially.
And our events are always open for you, so please join our events. It's very fun.
They're free for most of the times. If anything, we'll tell you beforehand, but if there's no suggestion, it's free for entry. So come and enjoy. Please give us more questions, because we also have like 5 minutes left.
Thank you very much from my side, at least.